Hey guys, welcome back to the Average Joe Rating Climb. The first thing that I'm going to do is actually change my losses from 6 to 5 and update the rice. My previous opponent, which there was some debate about, I do 100% believe was cooking rice. How do I know that? Well, there's actually a little story. So after the game that they played against me, they threw the next game. They blundered their queen like a 500 elo blunder and resigned. And then a couple games later, that same day, they closed their account voluntarily. And for 5 days, that account remained closed. And then mysteriously, after 5 days, it's open again. I guess they opened it back up. Now they're playing again, but definitely some suspicious stuff going on. I'm 100% certain it was some rice cooking. And feel free to argue with me about that in the comments if you would like, because I'm sure some people are going to say, no, Nelson, you're crazy. But trust me, definitely was some rice. And what is happening? Hold on one second, guys. Let me see. There's a double audio thing going on there. There we go. I think I fixed it. So we're going to play the Ponziani. I don't know why. I just decided to play it. So the Ponziani, you want to play d4. That's why we play c3. And generally, the weakness behind this move is that we don't put our knight on c3, which means e4 can be a weakness, because this is like the general way you would defend e4 is put your knight on c3, but we can't, right? So most of black's moves would be knight f6 and d5 as a way to attack that. d6 doesn't really cause me any problems. I'm just going to play d4. I don't even have to worry about e4 because they're not even attacking it, okay? So let's just get the 2 pawns in the center and see what we can do from here. Okay, bishop g4. It's a pin, but it's not really super dangerous. I'm thinking, do I want to block the pin? Do I want to push and gain some space on this knight? Do I want to just come over here and create my own threat with d5? Do I want to defend? Like, there's a lot of ways we could respond to this, even like h3, just attacking it. I don't think we want to take. That lets the bishop open up. I think I will play queen a4. This is kind of a... I'm going to get some imbalance in the position if they take here. And I like this, and I'll show you why, hopefully, in just a second. No, they play queen d7. Okay, so now I'm really tempted to play the move bishop to b5. Why? Because bishop b5 now is a very annoying pin because there's 2 major pieces there, and d5 is a huge threat. This is kind of irrelevant. We just take back, not a big deal. Yeah, I think we definitely have to take advantage of this right here. a6. Oh no. Do I have to retreat? Hopefully you said no, because there's a pin here, right? And this is something that I thought about when I played bishop b5. I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't have to worry about that. But this is kind of an important detail. And now I think we just push and we just get ready to take the knight. And I don't really see how black's going to get out of this. Yes, you could castle to avoid the pin. Oh, okay. Well, that just looks like a rook to me, so we'll take the rook. I guess they thought it was defended, or they didn't care and they wanted to sacrifice, but that's a bishop for a rook. That's a great trade for us. So already we have a material advantage, and I think now we just continue developing. I could defend here, or I could get the bishop out first. Yeah, I'm going to get the bishop out first. I'd like to put my knight there without blocking the bishop, so just developing it to a good square. And now I think we can go here, defend the pawn. Also defends the knight, and they want a castle. My queen's not really in danger of getting trapped because we have several safe squares. Okay, so I'm just making sure, because sometimes, you know, after the rook gets involved, you can have problems, but I think we're fine. And yeah, interesting decision, because I could castle queenside and attack here. I could castle kingside. I could go ahead and bring the queen out now, just because I'm probably going to have to do that anyway. I could even play something like a4, trying to activate the rook. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like attacking here is a pretty smart plan. I'm going to do it. I'm going to castle here. There's no rook that I would normally have to be worried about on the a file, right? So I think my king's actually pretty safe, and I like the idea of throwing these pawns forward and attacking black after they castle, which looks like it's kind of the only place that their king can be safe at this point. So I think they're realizing what I'm trying to do now. And probably why they're hesitating. Probably going to do this anyway. Just attack the bishop. Yeah, they do castle. Okay, so now we have to watch out for this. So for example, knight c6 and knight e6 would be annoying moves because black is able to activate their knight and their rook at the same time. So I think I am going to go ahead and back the queen up. Question is where? I'm going to go all the way back here. I'm probably going to need to bring it over this way. It's a little awkward for my queen, but yeah, this is what I'm thinking. c5. I mean, there's en passant, but that just opens things up. I really like this pawn and how it's shutting down the knight. So I don't think I'm going to take that. I think we just continue here, attack the bishop, and now we can gain some space. Now, do I care about this pawn? This is the question. And so for example, g4, bishop g6, they're going to take my pawn unless I have a move to stop that. I could play bishop g5 and trade off the knight. It's a locked up position. Yeah, let me actually do that. Hold on, let's make sure there's no tactics. Knight here. We just take it. I think we're good to go. Let's do it. So I'm noticing that I had a problem with this pawn, and I'm basically just saying, look, this bishop's not doing a whole lot. Let me trade it for this knight. That I don't have the pressure on e4. And even though I'm going to be giving up the two bishops, position is relatively locked up, right? There's lots of pawns that are stuck. Bishops are not going to be as effective. And so I'm pretty happy to do this. Keep my rooks ready to attack over here. We've got the knights, the queen. I think this is pretty nice. And I do apologize if there's an echo. I don't have a lot of furniture and stuff in the room yet. We're still moving, and so it's just not very great for recording, but I will get that taken care of eventually. So thanks for being patient about that. Okay. This is attacked once. It's defended once. I think we just continue. Get ready to push these guys. Notice we've stopped f5, so it's not a whole lot black can do. Let me bring the other rook over. Line him up. Get ready to push Harry over here. Oh, black pushes Harry first. Okay. So obviously taking is good because we open up the G file. I'm just not sure if that's the best approach. I think it is. Yeah, I think this is really good. And I need to get the queen over here big time. So that's what I'm thinking about now. How do we get the queen? I mean, this is one plan. It's just very slow. C4 to try to swing over this way would be much faster. I actually like that. Also, it defends my knight. So if I have to recapture here, we have it defended. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay, and here we go. Now we can just jump over immediately. And I'm already thinking about checkmate. I'm already thinking about checkmate on... Yeah, I think... Wait, isn't that a blunder? Let's see. This move is really good because it's threatening checkmate. It's also threatening the bishop. Am I missing something? No, I think black's just playing too fast. I think they're just playing too fast. I think they missed this one. Yeah, looks like it should be winning. At least winning a piece because black has to deal with the checkmate first. So like rook f7, bishop f6 to defend it. And we just take the bishop on h5. G6? What if they play G6? What should we do? Well, hopefully you said queen takes h5. It's the same pin, right? That pawn is basically useless. It's not attacking my queen now. It would not be defending the bishop here. They play bishop h4, which, yes, you defend your checkmate, but for one, I could just take this free bishop. I can also take this free bishop. Really a question of which free bishop do I want? I'll probably take this one. I don't know, just because I'm still attacking and I keep my checkmate threat this way. Wow, what is this person doing? They're just like literally giving away all their pieces. Okay, we're just going to take it. I mean, now it's probably just take it. We can also look for some sort of a checkmate here, but I don't want to give up my knight with the check, so I'll just take the pawn. Okay, no. Yes, you're threatening this, so if I want, I could play king b1, but I'm looking for checkmate, guys. I think there might be a forced checkmate here. Check. Wait a second. Let's see. Check. Okay, hold up. Let's calculate this together. Takes. We have rook g1 or queen g6. Queen g6, they have to go in the corner. Queen h6, they have to go here. Rook g1, they can escape. Check with the rook. The king goes back. Check. They block with the rook or the knight. Somehow it looks like they're surviving. Okay, let's try again with rook g1 first. Now they have to go to f6. Let's think about this. We can go queen f5. King goes here. Knight comes in or rook comes down. Yeah, that looks maybe better. If we go with the knight, then we can take here. Yeah, okay. So I think it works. You got to be a little careful because we are giving up a full rook. If for some reason that didn't work, you know, that would be bad, but it looks like it does. So we go over here. And I said queen f5, knight g6, right? I mean, there's also rook f1. Rook f1's good too, but I think this is just good enough. So let me go here. King has to move. Check and take the rook. Yeah. I think that gets the job done. Take it with check. King is going to run a little bit more, but I don't think that's a big deal. Probably just check here. Let's make sure that there's no threats from the queen. No. If you take this, I mean, I can just block if I ever get put in check. So that's not even a threat. So I don't even have to panic. I'll just take the pawn. Okay, not a problem. Let's just keep taking stuff. Actually, wait a second. That's checkmate. Okay. Relatively straightforward game. They didn't, I mean, they just kind of gave up all their pieces. So let me do a game review. We update the win count over here. Okay. 81-59. Yeah, so I was getting the vibe that Black wasn't playing a great game. So probably don't need to even analyze this one too much. I think I'll just jump into the next game. Okay, let me turn this off so you can see the board. Okay, let's go with the typical Scandinavian here. We are back above 2,000, at least for now. Okay, they're going to play this gambit. Let's go ahead and take the pawn. And, I like to play e5. It's just a nice way to let all the pieces out right away. There's no knight f3 that you have to worry about. They don't really want to lose the castling rights in most cases, and so I think it's a nice little pawn sacrifice here. Okay, they push by. Yeah, I think we maybe just can attack that though, or even bishop c5. Getting control of this diagonal looks pretty dangerous. Yeah, let's do bishop c5. This is such an important diagonal that I'm prioritizing this over even a really good move like knight f6. The other thing about this move is knight f6 blocks my queen from going here. I kind of like leaving that as an option because sometimes you can get some nice little tactics with the queen on h4. So even now, I could take, go check, and start invading with the queen. Now, I don't think I'm going to do that, but this might be an annoying move. Yeah, this is the reason this is an annoying move, I think, is because it stops the bishop from coming out. This pawn is still in the way, which is where white would like to put their knight. And you have to watch out for these squares. You have to be careful. And yeah, it's kind of annoying for white's pieces they just seem uncoordinated right now. So probably just going to play knight f6 and castle. Once the king's out of the center, we can start thinking about something like e4 to open up the rook. Of course, I'm not going to be able to hold on to this pawn forever. That's not really my intention. I mean, if white really wants to, they can probably just go take it back. Queen g5 trying to hold on is going to run into knight e4. But even just the time that it's going to take white to recapture this is going to give me time to play knight f6 and castle, right? So like, for example, queen d3, knight f6. Let's say we trade. Oh, they go knight e4 immediately. Okay. I don't think that really changes anything. I think we just retreat back here. And now we have more pressure here, so the queen kind of has to guard it. Knight f6, f5, chasing the knight comes to mind. Still keeping an eye on queen h4, but there's always going to be g3, and I don't think we have a follow-up. Oh, so they want to go here and not exactly trap my bishop because I would have bishop a5, but it does cut off the diagonal here. Okay, so there's a couple things going through my mind. Number one is, can I get away with f5? Let's just say the knight moves and then f4, totally cementing these pawns here. The other option is to throw in the check immediately, which looks like it forces the knight to go back, but then I'm going to lose my pawn. So let's think f5, c5, takes. No, f5, c5, there's check, knight c3, and then I could play f4. Yeah, I don't think white can get away with this. Let's do it. And this is kind of irrelevant. There's no queen that could even go there. Even if it could, I could always play g6. And so that's not a big deal, and this is very serious for white. Primarily because if I get this pawn on f4, how do you get your bishop out, right? How do you ever get your king safe when my pawn is just sitting there, like, attacking squares in your position? So I think this was... I don't think white has time for this plan because of this right here, right? And unfortunately, they can't go for this trade because I'm going to throw in the in-between check and then play f4 after that. I will say this, when you get above 2,000 and you want to keep winning games, it's like these little details that you have to make sure you're not missing, right? Because I could see a lot of people in this position, okay, this is what's happening. Maybe they just throw in a check or they just play some random move, and you miss an opportunity like this to just really get these pawns in a powerful position. It's those little details that, you know, really kind of keep you and will take you above 2,000. Okay, yeah, they are going to go for this line. I don't want to take because then we just trade pieces and I'm left with triple isolated pawns, very weak and easy targets. But I will go here. And yes, there is a move for white, but like I said, here we go. And this is very uncomfortable for the white king. Oh, there's... Ooh, I didn't see this. Speaking of important details, I totally missed this. Okay, we're gonna get lucky, sort of, I think, because I think I can survive with c. Actually, yeah. So, well, hold on. This is actually not a simple position. All right, the first thing that I'm thinking of is I can play c6 and defend my bishop. It's a little bit tricky because after b4, if I try to retreat, there's d6. But, however, there's also queen h4, which is a very annoying move for white, because then you have to like move your king to d1, and that does not look very safe. My queen can come in. Maybe we attack this way. Yeah, this is a total mess. The other thing I could do is save my bishop on d8. So I did, to be in all honesty, I did miss this move. And if that's what my opponent was setting up by allowing this, that's pretty clever. Like back here, maybe that's what they were thinking, and they decided to set it up. Pretty well played if that's what was going on. But I think we're going to be okay. And, you know, sometimes you get lucky in chess, right? Like, this just happened to be available to me, and it looks like it's going to work out in my favor, even though totally missed queen a4, right? So I'm assuming they're going to play b4 here, trying to trap the bishop. And I believe, and you know what's funny? There's probably, this is not a bad move. Takes and then takes here. And then just like throw these pawns forward and have this like amazing, I don't know what this is called, some sort of pawn triangle, diamond, square thing. But realistically, just here and going back is probably what I need to do. So check g3, we take. Yeah, that's going to be really bad. So they're probably going to move their king. Then I retreat. If they take, we take back. Okay. Let's go with the check. Pretty weird position, actually, that we have here. I mean, white's not developed, though. But I guess you could say the same about me. We both have queen and one piece out. But my pawns are better, right? This is really good. Okay, yeah. King d1. All right. Now I can go here and attack the bishop. But they could just play knight h3, defend. No, knight h3 actually we would take. So they can't play knight h3. They could play knight here, though, and that defends the bishop. So that doesn't seem like it's worth it. Probably should just retreat all the way to d8. Yeah, save our bishop and be happy because white can't castle. Their king is stuck in the center. And hopefully I'm going to be able to just, play knight f6 and castle myself. This, I don't think that's concern. In fact, I would be happy because the d file would be open. d6 is a little bit annoying. But I will say this. I think my pawns would be better than white's pawns. And, well, I'll let you guys answer that one. Why do you think I would say that? If white plays d6, why would I say that my pawns are better than their pawns? My logic is, well, two things. Number one, they can't castle, so this is more annoying. I can castle and get away from it. And also, the bishop is kind of limited here, whereas my bishop is already kind of on a better diagonal than if it was sitting here and there's a pawn there. So, okay, knight e4. Looks like they want to come here. Looks like they want to go right here. Yeah, it's pretty annoying, isn't it? So the only way to stop it would be to move my bishop, but then they could push with a tempo, but I might have to allow that. Alternatively, yeah, it's annoying because the bishop is going to be hit. So, I mean, I could play like knight d7, let them go there and then play like king f8. Something just doesn't feel right about that. I don't know what it is. Something tells me I shouldn't allow knight to d6. But I don't know. This is a weird position. I could be way off here. Okay. I'm thinking we just go back. Is honestly what I'm thinking. So we've taken away the square from the knight. Now, if they want to push and sack the pawn, they can. But then I just take with the knight. Now my bishop's defended. The fork is not as dangerous. And you've opened up the d file. If a rook lands here, your king has to be worried about it. So I don't know. This is a weird position. I'm not 100% sure if I know what's going on. Bishop c4 or queen b3, they can make use of this diagonal, so we have to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I'm going to go knight f6, though. And we're doing okay on time. Looks like our opponent is definitely likes to think through things, which is good. But what that does tell me is that as they get lower on time, probably a good chance that they might start making mistakes. And so the next couple of moves and minutes, it's going to be pretty critical to the outcome of this game. So just like little things, you want to keep in the back of your mind if you can. I usually like to think about those kind of things when my opponent's time is ticking down, right? I'm just kind of waiting. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't want to like get myself too mentally tired by trying to analyze every single move. So I just wait and think about some of that other stuff, like how am I doing on time? What type of opponent is this? Do I think they're going to be good at the end game, or do I think I'm going to be better at the end game? Like just kind of questions like that, right? Bring the knight here. Doesn't really have a ton of places to go. Maybe over here. I think I'm going to go ahead and develop, get ready to castle. Okay, and now might be my moment to get my king out of the danger. Yes, there is a check, but I'm pretty happy with my king on h8. I think it looks much safer than white's king on d1. Okay, so bishop c4 or queen b3 is what I am anticipating. I already have my move ready here, king h8. Okay, let's do it. Queen b3. Okay, so they do have control of the diagonal, but they don't really have a way to take advantage of that I can see. I mean, g3, if the rook was defended and I captured and let them open up the rook, it might be a different story, but I'm not going to let that happen. So I think we're totally fine. Okay, so how do we get our pieces out of here? That's the question. Well, one easy one seems to be bishop here, just getting ready to potentially trade it, or at the very least, now we can bring out the knight without blocking the bishop. So pretty happy with that. This guy, I'm not totally sure just yet what we're going to do with him. Maybe we end up trading and then bringing it over here. Looks pretty good, but we'll see how white's going to respond. And again, like I said, they're spending an awful lot of time on every move, and now they're down to a minute and a half. So I am going to keep that in the back of my mind. Okay, whenever you have bishops that are lined up and they're undefended, you have to watch out for tactics. So I'm probably going to make some trades here. Okay. Yeah, I think I will trade it. And then I can develop my knight. Interesting position that we have, because white does have this annoying pawn chain, but I have this guy. And like I've talked about, their king seems not as safe as mine. Queen e6 might be a good move, though. They're trying to attack the knight. I'm thinking we go here. Yes, we might lose a pawn. But then we take, play bishop f6, hit the rook, bring the other rook over, push here. I mean, yeah, we're going to launch an attack for sure. Let's make sure there's no like obvious things I'm missing. But no, I think this looks pretty good. So let's go here. I expect they're going to take the pawn. Okay, I'll go ahead and trade it and then bring out the bishop here. They're probably going to take with the queen. Otherwise, they get skewered here. Okay, they do take with the queen. Is this the best move? Yeah. The reason why we need to do this is we have to get this rook into the game, right? So let's go ahead And this is what I was talking about. This is the position I was thinking. And this looks super, super good. Look at this. Actually, we can win the queen or get a new queen. Okay. And so you can see just the right moment. And that pawn is, yeah, we just get another queen. Okay. So there you go. I don't know if, you know, like I said, I thought with the time pressure, something was like this was going to happen. But also they might have just missed e2 or something. I don't know. Hard to say. But now we're just basically winning because we got a free rook. And on top of that, I think they're about to get checkmated too. Or they're just going to let the time run out. All right. Let me update the wins. Good game to our opponent. At least they managed their time better than the previous opponent. Let's check the game review quickly here. Okay, 83, 68. So I'm seem to be hovering around that 80 something level, which is not so bad. Okay, let me see if there's anything interesting that we need to talk about here. Yeah, I'm just curious at this moment, what was the best? Yeah, f5 was a good move. And then bishop check. Okay, so the stockfish way to play this was actually to trade that bishop off, so I don't have to worry about any shenanigans like we saw in the game. And only then do we now push, and we are, you know, in the driver's seat, nothing to worry about. So that was a slight mistake on my part. Now it's absolutely White was able to get back in the game. We were able to survive, but we had to. Oh, G3? What? I'm sorry. G3 is a good move for White? Okay, I thought no way, because I'm taking here. You don't want to take me because of this. I'm threatening to push here with the check. Stockfish is disgusting. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, guys. So here's what I'm thinking in my mind. I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and then I'll tell you what Stockfish is thinking. So they don't want to take here. I can get a free rook. I can take here. I have a lot of good options. I'm also threatening, like if they just play a random move like this, I'm going to push this with check, and I'm going to get another queen. Okay, just one example. So this looks like a serious threat to me. At least this is what I thought in my mind. Stockfish says, no, it's not that big of a deal, and I'm going to take your bishop because now my queen is attacking your queen. And if you try to get fancy and go with the sneaky check, guess what? I'm taking your queen for free. Now, in my mind, I'm still thinking, but hey, I'm going to get my queen back and get a rook. Isn't this good for me? And Stockfish says no, because now, look at this craziness. Check. I can't block with G6 or I get forked. Okay, you guys see that? If I play G6, bam, that's not going to be good. But let's just say I play like just a random move. What's going to happen to me now? Bishop takes E3, and Stockfish says, your queen is trapped, Nelson. Your queen is trapped. It cannot come out. Look at that. And White is now going to attack my king, and I'm in trouble. And you can see the eval bar there. I'm just losing. I'm just losing because I can't get the queen out. Fascinating stuff. Okay. I didn't see any of that. But that was White's best move, G3, because of that craziness here. I mean, it's in this position, like most humans are never even going to think about like, wait a second, can I play G3 and then take here and then attack that with the queen from over there? Like, no, that's like GM level. Okay. Anyway, that's why Queen H4 was bad. Yeah, best move I actually talked about in the game was like maybe even taking here and then getting the pawns and getting this type of setup, which Stockfish agrees would have been playable at least. Wow. Interesting stuff. Okay. White didn't see it, and now, yeah, we played, I guess, pretty well. Once I get my king to the corner, you can see how the eval bar is going way up now. That was kind of a critical thing that once that happened, we're in good shape. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, we got black. Should we play it again, or should I play something else? Yeah, we'll just keep it consistent for this episode. Okay, I'll play the Scandinavian with the knight f6 variation. They just play knight f3. All right. I think I'll just take it back. pawn. Let's attack the bishop. I'm going to go here and try to hunt this guy down. I think now is a good time to do it. It's a lot of work, but this is a really annoying bishop, and so a lot of times it kind of makes sense to get that one off the board. Okay, I'm just thinking how we want to set up my pieces. Since we can't go to g4, I'm thinking we go to f5, or I just hold off for now and just delay that. I could fee in Keto this guy in castle. That doesn't look too bad, actually. Just looks like a nice diagonal for the bishop on to be on. A lot of times I won't do this, but in situations like this where I just really feel like it's going to be a really nice diagonal, I sometimes will do it. Okay. Now it's, again, the question of what are we doing with this bishop? I kind of want to just go like this. I kind of want to do that. Knight e5 could be annoying. Guess we could try to fee and Cheeto this one as well. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I should slow down here. This is kind of a... I have to be a little careful how we're going to do this. Because I wanted to play knight d5, but then he just takes me and I lose a pawn. So... e6, but then we are committed. We've blocked the bishop. So I have to really make sure that this is the right place. I think it's fine. I mean, bishop g5 is a little annoying, but... Actually, no, bishop g5 would be quite annoying there. All right, so let me play rook e8. Just defend my pawn, and then maybe I will play knight d5, trade these guys. I don't have to worry about the rook taking here on e7. And the reason I want to go knight d5 and trade is because then I can play b6, bishop b7, and both bishops are looking very powerful, okay? Okay, so he attacks here. So I'm just thinking if there's any way we can do this. Knight d5 takes. He's going to grab the pawn. I don't really want to just give up the pawn for free. I guess the other thing we could do is play c6, queen c7. And then we still have the question, where does our bishop go? Okay, oh, here's an idea. I have another idea, actually. Okay, that's not so bad. All right, I'm going to play c6. I do have a plan. I do have a plan for this bishop. I'm thinking we may go for h6, g5, bishop f5. And we take care of it that way. Okay, he's really putting the pressure on this pawn. Okay, hold up. But now, if I play knight d5, takes, I don't think you can do that because you've put yourself into a very nasty pin. Then I could play like bishop f8 and win the bishop. Okay, so knight d5 maybe is back on the table. No, okay, there's another option that I haven't considered, but f6, e5, and put the bishop on e6 also looks good. Actually, that looks maybe even best of all. d4. Is d4 a problem for me, though? Yeah, maybe it is. So maybe I should play knight. Okay, I'm not... Yeah, I guess I'll go with this line. I'm not sure. I was thinking this, but then at d4, the problem is I can't take because of this, and we might get into trouble. So let's take here. You play c3 immediately. Okay, so there is a pawn if I want it. If I want it. Bishop f5 would just attack here. Yeah, let's play bishop f5 because you got to defend this. So I'm probably still going to be able to take this later, but I like the fact that now my bishop's off the back, my rooks are connected. Okay, so he saves a pawn, and I think now we can grab this. This, we've already talked about it. We've got the pin to win, I think. Okay, I think we can safely take the pawn. Queen d2. So this is a threat again. Normally I don't play moves like this, guys, because it blocks my bishop and it creates weaknesses here. But in this case, it comes with a tempo. It stops the knight from jumping in. My bishop wasn't doing a whole lot here anyway. And the weaknesses here are already controlled very nicely. I have the light square bishop. I have my queen on it. And yeah, if he does this, which it kind of seemed like they wanted to, I don't care. I'll just take back, and I'm happy with my pawns like this. So that's what was going on there. And I think I will play a6. I want to take the pressure off of this so that my rook can now come into the game. All right. We don't have to worry about defending the a pawn. And this is a nice follow-up move. Rook to d8. Okay. Bishop's under attack. I guess we just go back here and here or something like that. Remember, it is defended. There's rook a3 though, but I just go back. I'm not losing a piece. Okay, so white clearly wants to go here and double up, or maybe some sort of c4. Most likely it's this. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying, so I do need to be a little bit careful here. Okay, I have a plan. We're going to go here, and when he goes there, we're going to play e6 and defend it like that. And you'll notice how I have my pawns like this. There are no real squares for my opponent to invade, you know, around my king like this, which is generally a nice way to have it. Also, I could easily push forward anywhere I want, right, with the pawns like this. Wow, they're just going all out to attack my king here. Okay, so this is getting interesting. I don't love the time situation. I feel like my queen is a little bit misplaced. I feel like this can't be a bad move. Getting the rook lined up in the center just shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I think we have to keep things locked up. It does allow the knight a very nice outpost. However, it also makes my bishop pretty powerful too, right? So it's a trade-off here. It is a trade-off. Okay, they're going to go for it. We have f4. Then swing the rook over, and I don't know why. Try to do something. Yeah, definitely the queen has to get out of here, though. c4 I have to watch out for, though. Oh yeah, c4 is actually a threat right now. Okay, I have a plan, guys. I have a cool plan. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to play queen b6. I'm expecting white's going to play c4. I don't know if they will, but if they do, okay. I think we can go here. I think we can go here, and now we're putting pressure on d4. Even though my bishop might get trapped, if we're able to come crashing through at the right time, might be worth it. Now, I'm a little bit concerned with the time. This one I think I can just take. There's a pin, right? There's a pin. I'm a little bit concerned about the time, but this is a very critical moment in the game, so I have to make sure I don't blunder. And it might get easier to play here in a few moves if we're able to trade some pieces. Now that my queen's coming back into the action, yeah, this was a nice little tactic too. So I think we might be okay. He's trying to come crashing through here. But wait a second. b5 or queen takes e5. I mean, it's a knight. At the end of the day, I'm taking a knight. So yes, he's going to get a rook come down, but it's not over. Just move. I just move, and I'm up a piece. f3? No, I don't think you can do that. So we've got this one. We've got c5 maybe. We've got queen somewhere. Depending on what white does, we might have this one or this one or this one. Okay, he's going to trade. But we got an extra bishop, so this shouldn't be too difficult. It is a little bit annoying with the rook here, but I think we can potentially fix that. Let's go ahead and just double up these guys. If they take, I'll take here. Okay. And I really would like to get control of my 7th rank so my king can come off. Maybe even trade a pair of rooks so I don't have to worry so much about some crazy checkmates back here. And then push this guy. I know it's a weird move, but once the rook is behind, now we can just push it all the way. All right, guys? Now we can just push it all the way, and it's got support all the way home. I think that's exactly what we're going to do. Go ahead and trade this rook off now. And you're going to see that white's going to have no way to stop this because I have the rook. If his rook was able to get behind, it'd be a different story, right? Let's just move. And then we push. 46 seconds should be plenty of time. Once we get the queen, it's going to have to sack his rook. I don't even think I care about that here. Yeah, they can take that. Doesn't matter. We're going to go here and get the queen. Basically just a simple ladder mate. Should do the trick here. Plenty of time. Plenty of time. All right. Pretty good game, though. I think our opponent kind of fell apart at the end there, but other than that, they were playing a pretty nice game. Let's see. Okay, so we had 91. Not bad. Yeah, actually, our opponent was winning, or borderline winning there for some of that. Let's take a look. When was the turning point here? So it was pretty equal. And then Oh, after this, Stockfish says I'm in trouble. I wonder why. The move is h5. Just continuing to attack. Yeah, that is actually very annoying because once they take here, the rook is coming over. So Stockfish says queen c7. They can trade. Rook h3. But aren't they okay? Why is this so good for them? Rook h6. And I never can really take this because then the pawn comes through with the queen's help. So I have to go rook h7. They play c4. Now my bishop's running out of squares. They sack. What is happening? Oh, they can even just take this. I forgot about that. Can even just take that. Then they sack. Then they go queen f4. I mean, nobody's going to see all of this, right, in a 10-minute game. But it just goes to show that if white would have continued attacking on the king side, I was going to be in trouble. Okay, but they didn't do that. Instead, we get this, which was a blunder because of the pin. Yep. And that's kind of when it fell apart for white. Yeah. So b5 was what I was going to play, which is okay. But if there's a free piece, you got to take a free piece, right? You have to. Even though, yes, my king is a little bit awkward here, it's fine. I'm still up a piece, right? We got rid of the pesky knight. Okay. Let me play one more game here, guys. You got white. Let me play an e4. Okay, French defense. I guess we'll play the usual gambit here. Bishop e3. Have lots of fun with this one. Oh, they're playing. Okay. So they're just playing the Owens. I'm going to put the 3 pawns up there. Get my knight behind. And I guess I'll try to play a quick d5 here. Sometimes this can be annoying. Sometimes it can be annoying. Yeah, we'll play it right now, I guess. I don't know. I don't exactly know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to make some of this up as I go along here. I think we just probably develop. Okay, so we can't take this way because of the... Oh. Oops. Okay, I messed up. Hold on. I messed up here. Let's see. Takes... I forgot about this check. I do have bishop e3. But I'm kind of losing all my pawns. I wasn't really paying attention, guys. This was a fairly big mistake on my behalf. I wonder if I can turn it into a gambit. Maybe. Bishop g5. There's going to be f6, though. We can't take... This is such an annoying move, actually. Wow. Such an annoying move, guys. Okay, hold on. What if we go bishop d3? Let him fork me and castle. Takes. If they take either way, we pin. Now there's bishop e4. Oh, what did I do? What did I do here? All right, you know what? I'm not going to overthink it. It's not the end of the game. What we're going to do is pretend like it was intentional. We're just going to pretend like it was intentional. I want a castle. I want to play rook e1. I actually want all the pawns to be gone because now I have open files to attack. And my opponent is spending an awful lot of time moving their queen around. Okay, so we're just going to go bishop d2. Look at this. I have 4 pieces. They only have 2. I'm ready to castle. I've got open files that I can use to attack the king. Now, to be fair, if I was smart, I would have done that differently. But hopefully this will show like you can still come back from something like this. Okay, I don't want to trade queens, though. That would be a pretty big mistake. So I will take this way. Got to keep the queens on the board. I want to attack the king. All right, so I'm going to get castled. Get my rook to the center. They're trying to castle too. Unfortunately, I can't really stop it. But what I can do is maybe sack some more pawns. Yeah, let's do it. So we want to attack. We do have the bishops, which is nice. Black is still trying to develop. Okay, so they go for a5. Okay, what about this? What about this? I'm going to go rook b1 first, actually. I need the rook to be here, and then I think I'm going to try to do this. And basically, if I get here, they don't want to take because it opens up my rook. But if they let me take, then I have a target, and I can attack the king. So that's kind of what I'm trying to set up. The only problem might be if the queen takes. But even there, I'm envisioning like bishop e3. Maybe this rook can come here, and I don't know. It looks like we're going to get a nice little attack going. So let's go ahead, see where the queen's going to go first, and we'll make the decision if we're going to push it or do something else. There might be rook b5 too, and then push it. Actually. So what are we down? 3, 6, 7, 3, 4. So we're only down 2 pawns. So that's not like the end of the world, especially if you have an imbalanced position where you can attack and you can actually use those open lines. That's not so bad. Yeah, this is an awkward decision for black because this is pretty serious. Okay. So yeah, I'm thinking we go rook b5. The reason is if I play c5 now, they just take it with the queen. So I'd like to go here, gain a tempo. They have to move, then we play c5. And now it's a bit more annoying. Oh, d5. Okay. Well, I don't think I'm going to take, because I think that's exactly what black wants. Then they go here, then they go here, then they have a pin on me, they have their rook attacking me. But what I am going to do is what I said I was going to do earlier, play c5. This pawn might actually even be in their way. Blocks the rook. The knight can't go there. Blocks the queen. Blocks the bishop. So I'm just going to sneak right on by and just bust open the king. Okay, they can trade this bishop, but it's okay because here we go. Undermining the defenders of the king. That's the plan. Okay, probably we just take it, but let's just see if there's anything else that makes more sense. I don't think really see too much else, so let's take it. Now this is kind of weak. Maybe we can even consider sacking and bringing the queen and the rook over with the help of the bishop. Looks pretty dangerous. I don't know if we can consider taking here and playing knight d4 as well. I mean, there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways we could do this, my friends. Queen c2 is interesting too because we pin and we pin. But knight g3 might be annoying. No, then we sack. Then we sack. Okay, so queen c2 definitely a move. I guess I should start with the obvious sack first. So takes, check. King moves somewhere. Maybe I don't even know where it moves to. I don't think that's my best. I think I'm going to go with this one. Because look at this, guys. I'm pinning the knight here. So I'm threatening to take this. I'm also pinning this. So like you can't trade anymore because you lose your queen. I'm also threatening to sack my rook for the 2 pieces and totally obliterate the king's defenders, which would be a win for me for sure because the rook's coming over. And at the same time, I'm clearing the way for this rook to really pile on. So I know you can't give yourself brilliant moves, but if I could, I think I would give myself one for this. We'll see what Stockfish says after. I don't know how black's going to defend all this stuff. Oh, there's also, I should have mentioned this, knight d4, I'm just noticing, because that hits the queen, and again, that pinned knight. Bishop b5, bishop a6 even to undermine. I mean, there's so many ways to do this. Wow. Yeah, this looks great. This looks great. I mean, let's say black does something like... See, the problem with like moving the queen okay, which is what they do, is that I still have moves like this available. I still have moves like this. Taking advantage of the pin and basically just forking the pieces. Bishop a6 is also a very tempting move, though. I'm really not sure. Because bishop a6, you can't take me, because then I take here and win your queen. So I'm basically saying, look, I'm just going to take your bishop. If you defend, I just take it and I win your queen. This way, I don't know what black does. If they move the queen, I also can just take. That looks amazing too. So I think I have two amazing moves. Does it really matter which one I play? This one maybe keeps the knight defending my king a little bit better. Let's see. What if they played, let's say, king c7? No, we just take. All right, I'm going to play bishop a6. I don't know, but this just looks absolutely crushing from what I can tell. Hopefully I'm not missing something. I'm actually threatening to take this immediately because this bishop is now pinned. You guys see that? It's one of those funky looking pins, but the bishop is no longer defending the knight. So this is just a simple fork. Maybe not simple, but it's a fork, which wins the king and the queen once you realize that the bishop is out of the picture. Also just taking it, but taking me doesn't work either because you still lose the defense. I don't see any moves for black. I just don't see them. Okay, so they try to take, but like I said, this was a threat all along, so we just take it. There's the pin. You can't take me. And I'm just going to grab the queen. I'm just going to grab the queen. Yeah. I mean, it was a bad position for black. Okay, let's check the game review. Let's go update the win counter. And how did we do? 83 again? Okay, no brilliant moves, huh? Didn't like my queen c2 move. Let's see. That was actually a very interesting game. So I didn't know what I was doing, but apparently this was fine. Yeah, d5 was a mistake. I should have played f3 to solidify the center first. Queen e7, and then I just fell right for it. Yeah, I just fell right for this. Super obvious, really, it is. It's my knight's pinned. But this is actually a really good lesson. Like, if something like this happens, you always want to be thinking, like, can I turn this into a gambit? Especially with pawns, because that's what gambits are anyway, right? You just sack some pawns and you get quick development, open lines, and you know, it's hard to play against that. Or even like Halloween Gambit, you lose a knight in the opening, right? And so if you find yourself in a bad situation, especially in the opening, try to see if you can turn it into a gambit. And I'm pretty happy with what happened here. Now, Stockfish wanted me to do this, which is interesting, but I don't recommend trading queens. Even though Stockfish says it's slightly better, it's much more difficult to actually win the game like this when queens are off the board. And so I think I made the right practical choice here. Keep the queens on, castled, and then try to attack where you can. And black messed it up a little bit. Best move was queen d6. Avoiding the rook b5 idea. Okay. Yeah, and then I'm just back in the game, just like that. So, let's see. Yep, this was bad because it allowed me to just come crashing through. So the only move for black here was taking, which is very counterintuitive. I would have been tempted to sack my rook here. I don't know. Yeah, it's not good. Oh, because knight b4. Yeah, I don't know if I actually would have done it. But even just taking here looks good too. Yeah, get the queen. Queen b3, bring the other rook over, line them up. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, I'm working on the Echo, so I apologize for that. It might be a couple weeks because I don't have the furniture that I need in here just yet. So anyway, see you guys next time. Stay sharp, play smart, take care.